Welcome to the West Bridgewater Board of Selectmen's meeting. Meeting is being audio and video recorded and will be shown on the internet and local access television. If everyone would please stand and join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. First up, we have appointment to the ADA committee, Deborah Cauley in the back of the room. Deborah, if you'd like to, I know we've all met you, but if you'd just like to quickly introduce yourself to those watching.
Sure.
You can
Come
come
on
on
up.
down so the microphone can pick you up.
My name is Deborah Cauley, and I live on North Main Street, and I am going to be happy to be on the ADA committee, and I hope it's a fun time.
Thank you. We always appreciate volunteers, so is there a motion?
1 second, Mr. Chairman. I just want to let you know that there are 5 members, so this would be she would be receiving an alternate membership.
Okay, so is there a motion to appoint Deborah Cauley as an alternate ADA committee member?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, and
Thank
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie.
Okay, approved meeting minutes of July 11th, 2018. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of July 11th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And accept for review the meeting minutes of August 15th and September 5th, 2018.
Motion to accept
For review.
for review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Shell gas station, underground storage tank license amendment. A few weeks ago, we looked at the site plan review. The planning board has since approved the tanks. I believe, are you from Shell or?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to quickly show us or say anything else?
Well, it hasn't changed. Al McCallie from AU Engineering. I brought a plan basically just to show you where the tanks were going. We're pulling out existing tanks here, and we're putting in 2 proposed tanks here, double wall fiberglass. We were before the planning board, probably about a week and a half or so ago. Actually, I think the same night you met, they issued the special permit for the Water Resource Protection District. We're currently working on replacing the septic system, and hopefully we'll do the construction with the tanks and the septic this year.
Okay.
That's it.
How long will you be shut down for while this work is
You know,
being done?
You're probably looking at maybe 3 to 4 weeks to do all the work, depending on what septic system goes in. We really don't have the full details on that yet, so.
Okay. Any other questions?
So all you're doing is there is an existing permit. Now all you do is you would just vote to make an amendment to the existing permit, and I would ask you to make it subject to final inspections because the Shell will be pulling up a permit through the building department as part of his review process.
Okay.
Oh, good.
And just also just subject to the appeal period for the planning board decisions to be up.
Okay.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, staff, for all the help. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Site plan review for Warwick Industrial Fasteners, 255 Pleasant Street. David, do you want to briefly explain this project?
Sure, so it's just, it's going to be a new building on Pleasant Street on the right-hand side as you're coming from, say, 106, heading towards where the Barrett's Charlie Horse is. It's already, the building department's already taken a look at the plans. He has no objections. He has a couple of comments that he'll forward over to the planning board. It is already in our industrial commercial area, so it's an allowed by right use. So the only permit looking that is going to go before the planning board is for site plan review. Again, just basic stuff, parking, aesthetics, noise, that type of stuff. So other than that, there's no other issues. And if the board wants to include their comments as well, we'll certainly pass them along to the planning board.
Yeah, well, usually the lighting issues there. I know that he's put in his own water down there to extend it down the street there, and he's worked a lot on it there. And I think this is either the third or the fourth business he has down at the end.
Yeah, no, it may very well be, and you're absolutely correct, that at his expense, he's brought water down the road, which obviously is going to benefit everybody else on the road as well.
Yeah. The only thing I just said is if they get the proper lighting. If there's no questions here,
Can I
I'll,
ask a question, Alden?
Yeah.
So what is in this building now?
There isn't, it's going to be.
no, it's brand
Brand
new.
new?
They're
Brand new
tearing-
building.
Tearing down a existing dwelling and barn, right?
Yep, so it's got, and he's got to put up a brand-new facility.
And this is going to be retail
That is correct.
versus?
Yeah.
Okay. And how close is this to any houses? Are there any residents living near it?
I don't believe so. I
No,
looked
not-
at the
not
map.
true.
Is there a map still in here?
Condos next door? Or is it?
I don't think so. There's
it says,
a landscaping,
Condominium, or is it?
there's a
maybe it's,
landscaping yard across the street. Again, it's already zoned industrial, so if there is a home in there, the home is actually the one that's not conforming. But in any event, there's,
It's an area that really didn't look that great there, and he's put these businesses down, and he's cleaned the area up pretty well.
did you get the map?
And it is our industrial area.
There was a
We
map
welcome business
that did not go in.
for our industrial area.
I was just curious because it's a retail operation and,
Yeah, by right, they are allowed to exist there,
okay.
so there wouldn't be any way to prevent them
Well, I'm not,
in that aspect.
yeah, I'm not, just so the residents are aware, I'm sure if there are any
Yes.
houses near it, they would have been informed,
Yep, so,
yeah,
Yeah, through the planning board procedure.
okay,
can we blow it up? Yep. So you
I'll
can
make
see
a
that's
motion that
exact-
we
that's
go
the-
along with this,
okay.
With your, what was the
with the
comment?
stipulations, yeah.
Okay, is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
All right,
aye.
Okay, public comment period. Does anyone have anything?
We only-
RCB, 28 Glenmere Street. I just had a question. Were we sending out a notice about the change in the electric company? I didn't receive anything, I just need the information.
Yeah, there will be,
How to
so,
opt out if I need to.
Just last week, I believe, the price was set, so it's in October, I believe, that the notices will go out. Is that right, David?
Yep, so I actually received the notice today, and not knowing that I was going to receive the notice today, I couldn't put it on the agenda. But I just received the notice today as to what the new national grid rate will be. We've also been in contact with Colonial Power, so we're going to put together next week some type of a video, so that way we can inform people as to what the process is going forward, what the rates are, and if they want to opt out, how they would go about doing that.
What is the new national grid rate?
13.7,
And you negotiated 11,
11.3.
so it is quite a bit low.
If people want to opt out, they
Is
can.
that 11.3 for the whole year?
Yes.
That's a fixed rate for 3 years, correct? Is that what that was?
Yep.
And how much time do they have, David, to, if they do choose to opt out for whatever reason?
Yep. So the new billing cycle starts for November 1st.
Mhm.
So that's why we want to do it next week. So we can
Okay.
try to get people, if they want to start opting out the first week of October, it is about a 30-day run. So we want to try to get, if we put the information out the first week in October, hopefully it will not affect the first billing. If it does, then it's going to be the second billing, just the way that the meters run.
Okay,
But again, if people want to opt out, they can, but, that's a full 2.5 cents difference
Right.
per kilowatt.
right,
Again, I think that what people should do, which is what part of the conversation will be when we put this together, is to relook at it in May, because National Grid's summer rate will drop. And whether it drops below 11.3, we don't know, but in the winter rate, that's a substantial savings to go along with the aggregation.
Could we make sure that prior to the summer rate coming into effect, we broadcast something, publish it on the town's website or whatever, letting residents know what the new rate will be?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Great, thank you.
No, you're welcome.
I'd just like to report on the Metropolitan Planning Organization met yesterday, and we're continuing studying the 106 corridor, Kingston, Plumpton, Halifax, East Bridgewater, and West Bridgewater. As you know, there's still things out there. That corridor is really busy. They showed a report, but they didn't show anything what they're going to do in the future. I continuously try to get them to change the timing on that light going south. No, 4 cars, the engineer says it's all right, but I say it's not. And I kind of argue with him to look at that again, because we have traffic back way beyond the post office, up to the Dairy Queen, up on the Matfield Street, and I'll continue on them. Another situation we have, it's a very bad one, I mentioned it to him, is if you go into Bridgewater, you got the 2 lanes, and the left lane, and also they got a bicycle path. God pity if the cars come together and the bicycle at the same time, it could happen. I said, you ought to look at that, because that's not a good situation, you know? And we look at all the corridors there, and I know that when we got this thing going, I suggested that we widen 106 all the way up to police and fire. They didn't want to spend the money. And I believe if we're going to do something, do it the right way. And now we let businesses build right on the street, so we get some problems if they want to widen that street. So, but the only reason why I got involved in it, because they only showed the light and then the light at East Street. I says, wait a minute, I says, we're gonna look at the future here. I mean, we spent our own money to do the engineering at East Street, and that's why we got the light there, because we moved the thing along. But I said, we got to sit down and really look at this thing. And so they said that they were willing to sit down and study this out even more. And if anybody's got any ideas or anything else, welcome to either see me or, because that's really bad. I mean, today alone, I have the police radio on there, 4-car accident there, and and especially up near the Market Basket. And now that beauty parlor up there, I don't know what's going to happen to Dramatics there, where they're going to sell, and there's a business might be locating in there. So, like I was saying, we're going to continue to put pressure on it if they're going to, and because businesses are coming in all the time there, and at one time, there was supposed to be a road that would come out on Crescent Street. If you notice off of North Elm Street, those streets are wide in the back there. That was planning for another road to be cut through. They were going to go along that old railroad bed. And that would have been excellent if that thing, come to pass there, because, we certainly need something like that, an alternate road to get some of that traffic out there. And I told them, we're using all our back roads there, because people find other ways to go. And a lot of these neighbors now they're coming to us, lower the speed limit to 30 miles an hour, do this, do that. Because I remind them, this isn't a problem, because there's 30,000 a day of cars that go through that road, and that's a lot of cars. And they're not coming just from West Bridgewater. They're coming way back into Kingston and all along the corridor. So we'll continue to keep our eye on it and keep the thing moving.
So Eldon, might there be some hope to maybe get some better signage in the center? Because I think, I agree with you. Especially if you're coming from Brockton, down Route 28 and heading towards Bridgewater.
You get in the wrong lane, if you get in that left lane, and then that car that's to the far right, they don't know.
Yeah.
You cut them off.
Yeah, those of us
And then they got the bicycle path right in the middle.
I think those of us that live here and learned how to maneuver the center, we understand it. You get in the right lane to head up 28 towards Bridgewater, but it's constantly people are getting into that other lane and then cutting you off to go into Bridgewater. And that's dangerous. I mean, I don't know if better signage is the solution or what the solution is, but
There should be some kind of an indication of that existence there. Because if you get in the wrong lane, many times, sometimes you say, go down like the Trookies, and you get in the wrong lane, you may as well follow. I wouldn't dare to go across that lane, and get in that left lane. But anyhow, this is some of the things that, we're a small town, but boy, oh boy, we got some big problems here. Not small problems.
how often do you attend those meetings?
Oh, every month.
Every month?
Oh, yeah, we meet regular, it's a full agenda. I don't know if you get a copy on your desk there, of the whole thing. They're planning things already in 2003, and we can't take care of the things that happen right now, you know? That's the thing. But Chris has come aboard there, and he wasn't at the last meeting, but he attends the meeting, and we'll try to get something resolved. And like I said, the thing is, when you do it, and I always preach there, you might cost a little bit more, but you do it the right way, because you won't be sorry, because later on it's going to come back to haunt you. You know, I mean, you might save money temporarily, but in the long run, if you're gonna do it, even if you have to wait a little while, and you know, and get the, but it's been pretty good, like I said, and this organization is, wow, you know, there were so many people there that I didn't even know that belong there. A lot of new faces popped up. I thought I was going to be there all day, the way they were going, you know. So I said, well, come to West Bridgewater. I said, I may as well say something. If we're going to stay here all day, we may as well get the West Bridgewater involved in here, you know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alton. Anyone else for a public comment here? Okay, Town Administrator's report.
Sure, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So at our last meeting, I put together a proposal to create a bylaw study committee based on what we had in the past, except that I wanted to define it a little bit better than we've had it. I thought it was important to make sure that we had special skills on that committee. So I proposed to the board a 7-member committee. It would be made up of 5 of the following. It would be the chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals, the chairman of the Planning Board, the chairman of the Finance Committee, the conservation agent, and the building inspector. And then in addition to that, to get a resident perspective, is to have 2 at-large that lived in town as well. I have reached out to the 5 members that currently sit in those positions. All 5 people said that they would be willing to serve on the committee and thought that the makeup of the committee made sense based on what its mission would be. So at this point, I'll make any changes to it that the board proposes, and if there are no changes to make, then I would ask the board to accept it, and then we would start to solicit names for the 2 open members.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
So once you've put this together, this board won't be active, or committee won't be active until it's voted on at town meeting?
Nope.
Oh.
Town meeting established this committee under the purview of the Board of Selectmen in 1986.
Okay.
So it's entirely under your jurisdiction.
And how will you reach out to the residents to inform them that there are open positions?
So I think we'll just do what we always do. We'll place it on the website. We'll also make sure that all of the boards and committee members are aware, but we'll just get the information out as we do with anybody else. And hopefully we have somebody request to be appointed. If they don't, it's a 7-member board. So with 5 members, they would meet, and they would just conduct business like other boards do without a full board, but still having quorum, being able to meet quorum.
Could we push this out on the town's Facebook page too, David? I know the information's there on the town's website, but that requires the residents to go there to look for it. So if we could push the information out to them on the Facebook page, a lot of that will get shared to other places.
And I think as a general rule, we do that now.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Thank you.
No, you're very welcome.
This is a very, very important committee, because our bylaws, they haven't really been looked at for years. And there's people out there that are, coming in in fact, I think this week I talked to Dave, and now there's a concern about these yard sales now. And, but the only thing is, the people we put on there, they gotta have common sense. I mean, if we're gonna go after everybody, somebody got people or junk they wanna get rid of or something like that. But the problem is here, it's not there, it's the traffic but we have the police. I mean, I don't think we have to have another bylaw just to straighten out things. We have a police department. If there's impact of the traffic, so what did I say? These people go in there. I mean, people just think give you another bylaw and not give the people any flexibility at all. I don't like that.
Well, you're not looking to strip people of their flexibility by having a bylaw, but one of the issues you run into is if a neighbor is not pleased with what their other neighbor is doing, sometimes they're hesitant, Eldon, to go over and say, I don't want you to do this anymore. I think that's the most direct method of handling it, or what you're doing is bothering my ability to enjoy my home. That's nice, but not, that is, in my opinion, the better way of handling it. However, not all neighbors are going to say, well, thank you for letting me know and I won't do that anymore. There sometimes becomes hostility, and you or me, I'm not the one that has to live next to that person.
No, I
So
realize
if
that.
there is something that is affecting their ability to enjoy their home, and it's something the one neighbor should know, I shouldn't be doing this to begin with, but I'm gonna do it anyways because it's my house and I can do what I want to do. Well, that's fine.
Well, I know,
But
it's
shouldn't
got to have a certain
impede-
amount of protection.
Right, it shouldn't impede on the others. Now,
Can we
Yeah.
get back to can we just vote on the bylaw? The study
Yeah,
committee,
yeah.
a little off topic.
you don't want us to debate for the next 10 minutes?
I don't know if there's something I'm missing, did something happen, but
Well, we couldn't talk with you because then it would be a quorum, so David told us.
So is there a motion to accept the mission statement and, or I guess the mission statement of the bylaw study committee and to reestablish it?
Motion to accept the committee mission statement, the bylaw committee policies and procedures, and to reestablish it.
Is there a
Okay, I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Next is 40B process. You'll recall that we had a resident come in the month of July, and he had proposed at the time that we should have some formal process for when we do have 40Bs being presented in town. And so as a result is that I took a look at our current bylaw, looked at what our current practice and policies are, basically created a template, placed it together, put it together and placed it before the board at its last meeting. And at this point, again, if you have any tweaks, I'm more than welcome to change them. And if not, I would ask you to vote on it and accept it as well.
Yeah, this is very, very important. These 40Bs are coming. They're showing up on just about every street in town here. The next meeting coming up there too is October 16th on the ones on Belmont Street. Very, very important to have people there. I mean, here's something that's coming in on the curve, and you know, there's the time to get after the developer who's going to go in there and he's going to make money of these things, but we just don't like them to leave the headaches with the town afterwards. And so it's very, very, very critical of this process. And it's just not just one street in town. We seem to be getting more and more of these things, you know, all the time, you know. And they got to be monitored.
Okay, is there a motion or any?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
changes? Okay, motion to accept, is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is just an update. I've already counseled each one of you individually, but just so the public is aware, is that the board at a meeting in August revoked the license for Malarkey's on Route 106 because they basically hadn't been open for months. Surprisingly, as you know, they didn't show up here for the hearing, although we made ample attempts to reach them. They then appealed it to the ABCC, which is the state regulatory agency. There was a hearing on September 6th. Tracy, who oversees all of our licensing, she was present. We sent legal counsel as well. Drove into Boston, waited. They didn't show. Again, not a surprise, but you know, seriously, from a taxpayer standpoint, this is frustrating because we probably spent $1,000 in legal fees and they didn't show up to any hearing, never provided any rationale as to why they were closed, and never provided a rationale as to why they were appealing. But you know, this is America. They have due process rights. So with that said, the ABCC probably in the fastest decision it ever reached. Before Tracy even came back to the office, we had already received it and said that as a result of them, they defaulted. So they have upheld the board's decision. So again, that was just an update to the board and public, so you know where you
I know how we get criticized, or we have to go to court. Sometimes we don't want to go, we're forced to go to court. But I'd just like to cite out Tracy, who done a lot of work on this, and thank you. And I'm just telling the voters, we did win one. Even if it costs us $1,000.
No, we did, and again, we did incur legal fees, but I will say that Tracy actually wrote the brief for the pre-motion hearings
Right.
just to try to save us some money. So again, thank you to her, because she spent a considerable amount of time on it.
Thank you, Tracy.
And the last on the agenda is just in reference to the policy. I signed off on the fact that the firefighters will hold a toll booth or a fundraiser drive on October 21st on town roads. The only last thing that I want to say, and I just want to say this coming from me, but I know I can speak on behalf of a lot of employees, is that I just wanted to say thank you to this board. Last Friday, we had an Employee Appreciation Day at the Council of Aging. This board, I mean, in the private sector, which I worked for many years, it is not uncommon to have an Employee Appreciation Day of which the company pays for. We don't do that because we have taxpayers' money. So we used the Council on Aging. The three of you paid for everything. We have now found out that Denise makes one heck of a lasagna. So again, thank you. I will
We
tell
found
you.
out Anthony might be opening up a restaurant.
That's right. I was going to say, between the two of you, Eldon and Anthony, you did a lot of the cooking and serving, and we had about 60 people show up that day, which was the best that we've seen in the 5 years that I've been here. The Council on Aging did an excellent job providing some of the salads and making sure that the facility was available. So again, I just wanted to say thank you to you, because all three of you had to take time off from work. So obviously you either used a vacation day or lost money that day. And in addition to that, you also spent money out of your pocket. And I think it just shows really good leadership and also the fact that you care about this town, the employees. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Can we put the recipe for the lasagna on the website on Facebook?
It's a secret.
Just to let you know, I had to go to a house. It weighs about 75 pounds. I had to carry it. But that's how good it was.
Is this a meat lasagna or?
Oh, yeah, beef, sausage, everything is in there. I couldn't lift them, so David came to pick them up. But maybe one night we'll have a meeting and you'll be surprised. I'll have dinner here waiting for you.
Nope, nobody should question her Italian heritage.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.